Warlords podcast.
Wait, the Running Lord. I was like getting tripped up there. Okay, well, if that's what we're gonna call it, we'll go for it. So this is the first episode then. I guess we're gonna
The
go.
Runaway Warlords.
Well, that's what they're doing now. There isn't the new warlord system. There's not the. They're not protected. So it's a little bit like us. A little bit of some badasses.
They're jumping into a whole new system. They have no idea how it's gonna work.
It's like me out of high school,
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure that was just me in general.
Oh, okay. So my name is Drew.
Just no idea.
So wait, yeah.
And I'm Wayne.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, okay. So we're just gonna go over maybe every week or so, go over kind of the chapter and go through some of our theories because we're I don't know. It's getting intense. It's getting to the last bit of One Piece here where things are starting to close up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's really cool because I'm in my early 30s and I've been following One Piece for 14 years, and It's pretty cool just because I finally was able to get in the manga the last 2 years, and now this has been in my life since I was like 14, 15. So it's just pretty insane, just this whole trajectory we've even had up until now. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I remember seeing it Sunday morning a couple times. It was only like the first 3 episodes, and it was like so weird. I didn't understand what's going on. And then I watched. Dude. Then in college, I watched the Avatar, the Last Airbender. And I was like, let me see this. Let me see this comic about, or this cartoon about the pirate people. And then that's what I got. So I got into anime, and I was like watching. It's a weird one to start out with because I don't know. One Piece
is that
is like
really how you made
floaty.
your jump?
Yeah, that's how I started watching anime.
That's actually pretty funny.
I guess Avatar's kind of an anime. I mean, it's anime inspired, so why not? Okay. Anyway.
Well, it's always that. It always has that discussion label on it, but that's for another day.
That's for another day.
Let's make a note for that for another day.
Okay, let's go through this chapter, and I have Chiffon Google imaged right here. Because she's on the front cover.
Oh yeah, not just because we want to see, I don't know, some of the best lips in One Piece, but
can you imagine that thing kissing you? Oh my god!
I still have PTSD from Lola's. What was her?
Oh, like when she was a hog or whatever. What was her?
Yeah, what was her zombie called? I still remember Absalon. Well, that's the thing. I still remember Absalon, and I was 21, 22, and Thriller Bark was going on, and it was just that was wild.
Well, I think it's just Lola.
Was it the zombies have the same name?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay,
but yeah, my gosh, yeah. Look at this. That would be a gnarly. Yeah, I think that would be a gnarlier woman.
But
2:00 it's like 2:00 in the morning, and you have your last shot at the bar.
Wolf.
Yeah.
I am going to just put my head down and watch Drew Senpai keep digging that hole.
I'm done.
But
okay, what's going on here? Who's carrying Chiffon away?
Well, I'm guessing it's one of the Marines. It doesn't seem like these are the named ones that we've gotten so used to over the years, but it does seem like they're operating on their own. So I'm guessing they're either Vice Admiral or maybe like Rear Admiral. So probably not like Kobe and Vice Admiral or Smoker. Oh, sorry. Kobe's a Rear, isn't he?
No, wait. Yeah, well, something happened recently where Oda gave him the wrong title.
Oh, so he did mess up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he might still be like a captain then. We'll have to research that later.
Ooh, okay. I'll get that in 2 seconds. I'm looking at this front thing though, and why is the person like making kissy faces in the air to the other guy?
Well, the cooties from the germ pirates earlier.
Oh, okay. I get it. I didn't understand that at all.
Well, remember, this has been going on for I think this is My Family Volume 17. 17 weeks we've been with this, and it hasn't really gone anywhere.
Jeez.
But, yeah, that's pretty much just our thoughts.
That's it. Okay, let's move on, because this chapter's insane.
Yeah, Gang Bej, My Family, Volume 17. save the boss's wife, Gotti. Yeah, it's pretty much a continuation of the last 16 weeks. So chapter 968 it is.
Odin's return, and yeah, it starts off with Red Hair Shanks like crying to Roger, and it's kind of ambiguous why. He's like he
Well,
talked
and
to him, and then that's it. Maybe he told me he died. He's gonna
that's the
die.
thing. It keep in mind when you look at that, it reminds me so much of Luffy in that first chapter when Shanks gave up his arm.
Oh yeah,
So I think don't I have no idea because Oda just appears to do this out of nowhere and create all these little subplot lines.
sure.
But I do think he is tying this back to when Shanks passed the will on to Luffy. I would love to know what he told him, but from the looks of it, I think Roger is doing something on behalf of Shanks.
Yeah,
And Shanks is crying the same way as Luffy did all those years ago.
Oh my god, I'm looking at that page right now, and yeah, it's eerily similar. It's like crazy.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Oda does this a lot, and there are so many people that dig this out. It's absolutely insane.
So what do you think he's saying? What do you think Roger is telling Shanks?
Not really sure, because in the little bubble that Odin is using to narrate, um, it said Red Taro came and asked him something. So I'm guessing he asked something about his disease. He may, who knows? Roger may have gotten this incurable disease while saving Shanks.
That
and
seems
Shanks
to be
blames him.
that's a really good idea. That's a really good theory.
Kind of like how Shanks gave up his arm for Luffy. Or not, yeah. Shanks gave up his arm for Luffy.
Okay.
But yeah.
So down here, they talk about how Roger is, he's like, oh, it's Gold D Roger, but King of the Pirates is nice. And then they say, why would the world government hide your name like that? So we know that that the D is very important, but we don't know what it is or when they discovered it, right? Unless we just did that, they discovered what the D was on Laugh Tell. Do you think that's what it is?
Yeah, that's what Odin said. They found out the Void Century and the name behind D. So this is the first time Roger is actually saying, no, it's Gold D Roger, not Gold. So who knows? Probably up until then, all the people who were in that whole D family may have been like Zerks,
right,
or something like that.
Maybe. Well, no, because D Sol, right?
I guess, yeah.
Jaguar D Sol, the like giant guy with Robin. He was.
Yeah, it's very hard to keep track of when that is supposed to be common knowledge for us, or whether it's common knowledge in the story. Just because, like, remember, Oda's been doing this for what, 25 years?
Sure. Oh,
but yeah. So basically, the world is finding out that he's the Pirate King, and Roger's just like, yeah, it's pretty good, pretty dope, actually, pretty dope. And going into the next page, how the world's referring to everything as One Piece.
Yeah, this is like the first time we've gotten a glimpse into what the One Piece is, right?
Well, they just saw it in the last chapter.
Oh, that is true. Yeah.
And now the world's calling it the One Piece. And I mean, this is where all those theories are coming from. Is it the One Piece that does it show the world was in one piece? Does it show the oceans were in one piece? Like, is it the mechanism that combines all the oceans into one piece? It's just like, what is it?
Yeah, is One Piece the world or a treasure? Is it like,
or is it both?
I don't know. One thing that's really funky is they were talking about in Wano that there were 5 islands. They're like, there's 5 islands. And remember that they've been in no contact with anybody for years.
Yeah.
So their knowledge is that there's 5 islands, right? And then somebody comes out from the outside world, like, oh no, there's way more. But why would they think that there was 5 islands, right?
No, you're talking about Ino and Neku, and that's because when they were kids, they thought there were only 4 or 5 islands, and when they finally had Marco, Marco was like, "Dude, there are thousands of islands."
Right. But what do you think that? What do you think of that? That like before the Blink Century, right? There were 5 islands.
Huh? Maybe actually, or just 5 continents.
Right. Because you have like these continent polars, right? Or is the continent polar? Like
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a theory I've heard is like that these guys, like the ogres were like literally moving islands around.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Ors was Ors in during the Void Century? Or was he 400?
Oh yeah, because there's Ors and Ors Junior. How old is Ors? Let's look at that up. Because maybe you're right.
That's what I
seem to remember
thinking as far as Ors. Huh. But yeah.
Let's see, Ors Junior. Da, 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 da. Hey, his birthday is February 12th, so
it's actually coming up.
Oh yeah.
Well,
like a half a month.
I don't know. Rest in peace, I guess.
Yeah.
He did die during Marineford, right?
Age. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yes, he did.
Okay.
But
Rip.
No, what? Yeah, rip. It doesn't say how old he is.
Interesting.
Weird. Or at least I can't find it.
Yeah. Well, either way, it's now that the idea of the One Piece is out there, it's showing all these pirates really getting guns-ho about actually making Roger a target. Sucks to suck. He won't be around for very long. But it's just interesting that they're still calling him Gold Roger, but now they know the truth, so there's that distinction. In the will of D.
Oh, that is so. I cannot wait to find out exactly what that is. But I mean, there's some great ideas out there, like that. They're the people of the moon people or something, or like the half moon people. There's this whole moon theory.
How does it go?
Okay. I don't know. It's on the One Piece podcast. That the main guy Zach wrote an article on. But like the moons have always been super important in One Piece. Like especially in the beginning. Like you think of like every time there was a shot where like people are thinking there's like this moon in the background. It's like always looming, and it like keeps track of how long their voyages are. Like you see like a waning moon and like a full moon at like the cat island, or what's the cat place called, or the guy with the big paws, what was that place called where
the guy with the big that was Orange Island.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah,
anyway,
because that's where Usopp is from. Orange.
Correct. Okay, I'm just gonna speed this up because I don't know the whole thing, but I'm just gonna give you a little glimpse of it. Is that so you know that Eneru went to the moon after Luffy defeated him.
Yes, Endless Verth.
The Endless Verth, and there's this whole like side series about Eneru on the moon.
Mm-hmm. With his little moon men people, dudes.
The Celestial Dragons. The Celestial Dragons wear space outfits. There seems to be this whole space thing.
I can kind of see it. I do know that. I do keep in mind that space outfit really is just because they don't want to breathe the air of normal people. How dare they, assholes?
Yeah, I know. Anyway,
but
yeah, so that's kind of where it's going. Is that the moon is going to play a big part? Yeah, let's keep it going.
Okay. Well, jumping back in, we have Roger, not necessarily heaping praise, but just like thanking everyone, and everyone's giving the whole, you don't have to tell us that. Basically like a Chopper receiving praise type of thing.
Right.
One of the more, I know people dislike Chopper and hate him with a passion.
Really?
But like whenever he gets praise and he's just like, don't tell you don't have to insult me, you jerk. That's not working. I'm just like, I like that.
Humble.
Every once in a while, he has a little bit of redeeming. But yeah, basically, Rogers, hey, everyone, hey, this has all been amazing. Thank you all. Like, I have nothing but my deepest appreciations.
Hey,
and what's up?
have we talked about Roger's mustache game? Because the stash is incredible. It's incredible. You could grow, you could grow vegetables on that thing. It looks great.
Right. Well, that's the thing. It's everyone was pointing out how his mustache has been changing as his sickness has been getting him. So now that it's finally like
What? Are
fully
you serious?
curled,
You're right. I'm looking at the other ones. His mustache is way bigger.
right? So apparently, this
I
while
thought that was
this
just like an artist
disease
thing.
kills, well, maybe, but it's an interesting correlation. That as this disease is taking his life, it's also making him more of a man.
Oh my god.
Interesting, but
His
yeah,
mustache is
the reason.
way bigger and better.
Oh yeah, and for those who are keeping up, the reason we're definitely on the man's mustache game is he disbands it. He officially disbands the Roger crew after laying all the praise on him and talking him up and just giving his thanks. It's like, you know what, guys, it's official, and it has a really really good panel of the man, the mustache, and by probably one of the better hats in the series.
Yeah,
Just
especially right
formally,
here. This is like front on. This is a really cool looking image of him. I like it. Or panel of him, or whatever. Yeah. So now then we have all these bubbles, and I had to read this 3 times. I still don't understand what's going on.
Well, from the way I'm seeing it, I think it was last chapter or a few chapters ago. They met the most adorable chibi Madame Sherry.
Sure.
And Madame Sherry was talking about when Shirahoshi would be born. So I guess from the sounds of it, they're talking about. They're all excited about when Shirahoshi is going to be born, but they mention another, and that's what's got me like all confused.
So in these bubbles, who's talking?
It's the Sea Kings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then you have Roger and Odin having to hold their ears because it's such a powerful force.
Yeah,
So
should we just read this like one part right here? Because it's like there's a bunch of
know how
stuff.
SHhWat works, so
okay,
that's all you.
Okay. Oh, you don't know if I read it word for word.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I guess let's challenge the Shueisha gods and see if that.
Oh yes. Please do not smite them.
Please do not touch my. I don't know.
But if you wanted to read it, go ahead.
Okay, we'll just go through it really quick. It says
okay.
So it says I hereby disband the Roger Pirates, and then it goes into these like bubbles. I guess the Sea Kings are talking, and it says the birthing is at hand. Our sovereign will soon. Our savior, is that what that says?
Sovereign.
Our sovereign will soon be born, and another in a distant sea. And another, okay, and then there's another. Somebody else is going to be born. So is that Luffy?
That's the prophesizing and all that. While I'm not really a fan of it, it's just like, damn.
The whales are delighted in anticipation of the day the two sovereigns shall meet again. I feel like I'm in high school and I'm like reading out the textbook in front of the class.
I teach English, so that helps.
Oh, really? I forgot about that. Yeah. Great. We have been waiting for so long, and it's almost here, and surely all will go well this time. Just 10 until the birth, another 15 to grow. So
I think Shirahoshi is like 15 now. So yeah.
So who's 10 and who's 15?
So just 10 years until she's born, and another 15 years to grow.
Oh, I see.
And this is currently happening 25 years from the current storyline.
Wow. Okay.
So Shirahoshi's 15, which makes me feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's quite the genetics.
Yeah. But then
Here's the thing, mermaids age differently, so it's actually not illegal.
And moving on. So we do
It's doubled. She's like 30. Go ahead.
After we see Roger and Odin really more or less covering their ears just because of the magnitude of everything. We do have Roger flashing back. So when Madame Charlie, baby Madame Charlie, sorry, Chibi Madame Charlie,
sure,
was saying yes, the 10 years. So he's just like making that connection. All right, so everything will be born in 10 years, and then someone will come change the world 15 years. So he's putting that all together, and I think he's talking with Rayleigh, who may be asking who's going to find it. And then Roger's just like, oh, that'll be my son. Duh.
How does he know that?
No kids. Well, he knows the power of a sperm, apparently.
Apparently he can swim.
He knows. I will have a son who will look exactly like me, but also make horrible decisions.
Sure.
Which
get some tattoos.
Oh yeah. Well, that's going to be another conversation for later. Just because
that's what happens when you don't. Maybe you don't have a father figure. You get a bunch of tattoos and you start going off with pirates.
Yeah. Well, he also joined his arch rival's crew, and took over Odin's position, which is still Oda's writing is absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah! Oh my god! I didn't even think of that.
Right? Because Odin was the original 2nd Division commander.
That is so fun! Wow, cool.
And then it became Ace. So it's just crazy how all this stuff does tie together.
Okay.
But yeah,
after let's keep it going.
As they move forward, it's really just getting drunk and singing and just enjoying the last of it. They drop him off. Right before they drop Roger off, he's talking with Odin. And what do you think about him relaying the message about possibly sending Izo back?
Definitely just connecting some loose ends there, because okay, why didn't they go back with them? I guess.
Fair.
Because it would have made sense for him just to go back if they're disbanding and all that.
True.
But
very true.
Here we go. This is like a pretty good explanation where he's at.
Yeah. But and then, well, I do want to know what he says to Rayleigh, because he.
Do you think it's the same thing that he said to? Yeah, is it the same thing that he said to Shanks?
I doubt it, because it's. I would look at it like, what is Luffy's last thing to Zoro? Well, so that's how I look at it.
How about like inherited will, right? So it's like, hey, I pass on the torch to you. That could have been what he was saying to Shanks, and then Rayleigh is like, keep my memory or something. Keep my story.
That doesn't sound like Roger though. I would see Roger saying something along the lines of, be sure to keep an eye out for the next crazy guy on the seas, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he's like, there's gonna be another, and your job is to help him or something like that.
It's like, look after the next generation. Become the cool old dude we all know you can be.
Dang, yeah. All right. Yeah. So yeah, he says goodbye.
Yeah. So he leaves and he takes off with his bag that's apparently stocked with medicine. Croker's
the ropes in there.
Right. Crocus is telling him the disease is in its final stages, and as far as Oda's writing goes, and I've been revisiting this moment a lot. Every once in a while, he has a couple of panels where you're just like, man, you're reading it, and then what you see completely tells a tale. And for those who read this, I really hope you really that really is just as impactful for you as it was for me, because like Odin's writing, this is a man's goodbye. Everyone was stoic.
He's trying to be tough.
We're all straight faced. We're all dudes, dude bros. And then everyone is just bawling their eyes out.
Aww, they're little sweethearts, little softy boys.
Oh yeah. So it's just like, if you were reading this in a book, you would just be like, oh yeah, they're all just cool dude bros. But like actually reading through it in a manga,
they're
like,
out there getting in touch with their feelings,
right? because obviously men can't say it, but they can show
it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that was a really good. It was a great goodbye for Roger.
So
and that takes them into their next stop destination, which was dropping off Odin. And this is actually where everything just goes from 0 to 100.
Yeah, again, just like the Sea Kings page, I'm confused, but I'm like, I know that this is. I'm glad that you're here because I feel like you understand these a lot better because I get the story, but sometimes I just don't get like exactly what's going on. Like I have to like look it up on a video later. So this is great. So what's going on? I don't understand. What is the day before JOYBOY appears?
So apparently, when they got to One Piece and saw everything and read everything, JOYBOY. It seems that JOYBOY is a title of someone who comes by every few hundred years, kind of. So all this time, it wasn't like the person was writing, "Here's my name, XYZ." It was like, "Here's my title." Like, if Roger would have said, XYZ, the Pirate King. JOYBOY is more or less a title.
Whoa. And Roger didn't get the title JOYBOY.
Yeah. Roger was not born in enough time to be JOYBOY. So, and that's going to be in the next 25 years, apparently. Be the next coming of JOYBOY.
Oh my god. It has to be. This has to be where the hat comes in somehow.
Right?
Somehow
and that's where the whole prophecy is. Like the joyous boy or something is the one who will lead us on.
It's all about being happy. Maybe it's like fake happiness, like a land that was like.
Oh, keep in mind, the Will of D people always die with a smile on their. Like, there's nothing more joyous than smiling,
right? And happy stuff. You're totally right. Yeah, Ace, Roger, Saul, right? Saul died with a smile.
Yep. So it's one of those things that there's so much to the where right now I'm just like I'll rather wait for more information before I even try because anything before now is just going to be so far off it's ridiculous.
Right. Well, that's do you have what do you have anything else for the JOYBOY stuff?
Well, I'm just interested in the fact that Wano was such a central figure to it, and that's why Odin is so gung-ho on now opening up its borders, because apparently JOYBOY has to come through Wano, which now we're seeing Luffy there, and that may be, I don't know, something happens in Wano that is more or less the trigger.
Man, yeah, and why would the ports have to be open? Because if JOYBOY is there to, that.
Well, they want to make sure that they're ready, that Wano is an opening country, so the next coming of JOYBOY would be able to come. Because now Wano's closed off, so if JOYBOY wanted to come, JOYBOY could.
Okay. And he's wearing a hat. I don't know. Hat. There has to be the hat. Give him the hat.
Yeah.
So he takes off and he meets his wife, his beautiful time traveling wife.
Oh yeah. So Lady Toki the time traveler, and this is when it's an amazing panel when you see him hugging Toki and then the baby Momo and baby Hiyori. But when I was initially reading it, when I first saw her clothes and saw that they were patchworked, it was kind of like something's wrong.
Oh yeah, looking tattered for.
Oh yeah, because up until now we have no idea if Kaido's on the island.
Mm-hmm.
All we know is that Orochi is in charge. We don't know how their situation was going to be. We didn't even know if Toki was going to be treated well by the people because Odin was only there for a few hours.
Right. Man, Orochi just looks like a bad guy.
He is. I absolutely hate Orochi. Anyway, so moving into it, it's Momo, having manners, and then of course Kinemon and everyone else who's still incredibly pissed off at him, like, "Hey, scoundrel!" So it's some
Rapscallion.
more of that, yeah, some more of that Odin comedy. But this is where it goes from 0 to 100, because up until now it's Roger's goodbyes and Odin's goodbyes, and it was all this nice little campy wrap up sort of thing. And up until now, I've been wondering in the One Piece community, when does it hit the fan? And now, it's happening a lot quicker than I thought, because Odin's coming in and everyone's happy to see him, other than the scabbards, of course. Mm-hmm. Everyone's happy to see him, all the townspeople, and apparently, like, Toki is just the best person on the planet. You want to go a little into that?
Yeah, well, Toki, you know, like the well, first of all, she's been helping around the village and doing the sick. She's doing the Jesus or the Mother Mary thing.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she's been doing that, and just like, you know, the video game, she took an arrow to the knee.
Dude.
I know the I guess Orochi's not so nice.
Yeah. So basically, what had happened is Odin's getting the rundown on everything going on, and as they're telling him, they start at the beginning. All right, so Orochi started making factories.
I jumped like 3 pages ahead there. Yeah, you're right.
Oh no, you're good. But so he's making all these factories. He's building all this stuff at this fever pitch, and he's starting to pay people slave labor. And through that, Odin's just like, wait, what's going on? Apparently, we all saw the montage of the witch lady with the Mane no Mi, which, again, is another discussion, because that's some madness I didn't expect Oda to drop on us.
Yeah.
But now Odin's really trying to figure out what's going on, and part of that is the fact that a lot of people are starting to be put in these harsh slave camps, pretty much.
Sure. Yeah. Well, you know, you gotta get the poor man to work for you.
Yeah. Right. And then basically, someone was finally enough, and he executed him and his family. Apparently.
Nice guy.
So as Kinemon and them got up in arms, Kaido's men held a sneak attack, and
slam dunked on him.
Toki took an arrow to the leg, defending Momo. But of course, I'm pretty sure Nekomamushi is 15 in this panel, and I'm pretty mystified at how big Neko is as opposed to Ino, because as they're explaining this to him, he's an absolute giant. But apparently, awesome. But apparently Neko and Kawamatsu kept everyone safe. And yeah, Odin saw Lady Toki and her leg scar, and he kind of got triggered, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, you know, somebody touching your woman, you know, you're about to throw some hands.
Yeah, she literally got stabbed by another man. So I don't know if he's too privy to that.
Yeah, I mean, nobody would be.
Even she's just like, oh, this is small, and like, you shouldn't do anything. He's like, you have no idea who I used to be, but I don't play no game.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's open, you know, hostility. It's insane.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting just because we now see him literally jump out of the top of the castle and just run across the entire country in a night.
Wow. Yeah, that's so cool. I love it. It reminds me of like an old samurai movie or something. It's like he's coming to confront the shogun, you know?
Oh, yeah. It is a pretty dope montage, now that I look back on it, because he is in straight up slaughter mode, just running over everything. He jumps over a canyon, literally. But
he's fit.
Oh, yeah. It's just, and yes, the whole power scaling and all that. We don't know how strong Kaido was, because this is 25 years ago. So there's still 5 years before he's killed,
And
which
apparently
is very
this is after the Rocks pirates
yeah,
disbanded then, right?
yeah, oh yeah. So Kaido's on his own, but at the same time, now that he's and for those who are still catching up, um, he got to a flower capital. Blatantly, Kaido's men. I don't see horns on them, and I don't see people laughing crazily. So I don't think the smiles were in effect yet, which makes sense because it's 25 years ago. So all of Kaido's men are just basic at this point, and we see Odin basically destroy everyone. So now the questions are really floating: is how strong was Kaido at this point? How strong has Odin gotten in the, I believe, 5, maybe 6 years that he was traveling? I think 6,
Right.
because yeah.
Yeah, because there's like another year in there. Yeah. Okay.
So roughly, maybe at the most 6 years that he's been gone. So overall, he just completely throttles all of Orochi and Kaido's men. And as he finally finds Orochi, and you just
Look at those
see,
eyes. Those eyes are just bulging out.
dude, he is just like, you're done, you're
Hey,
done.
in
And
that first panel on the top right, he's just eating, right? Like he's just eating like dessert, and like there's like a
oh,
lobster there.
it looks like it's everyone running is women, so it looks like he's just having dinner with a bunch of women.
Yeah,
His
he
little
was kicked
geishas.
back. He had no
Oh
he
yeah.
didn't have a care in the world.
And then Odin finds them and is running towards him, and he's just like, "Oh wait, you don't want to do anything because of Kaido." And Odin's like, "I'll deal with him after I've cut you in half." And Orochi's like, "Oh, I forgot. This dude's nuts."
Yeah, I wonder how this is gonna get stopped because we obviously know that what happens. We know the end of this
Well,
story, so somebody's gonna cut in here.
no, I don't think. Well, here's where I'm at, because this is the end of the chapter. Bong, January
Dum dum
26th. So we don't have a break
dum.
next week, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you know the story of the Habano Orochi? What's it, the? Do you know the story of Orochi, the 8-headed Hydra snake?
Oh no, I just know like his family like almost took over or something, right? Yeah, explain it.
No, the actual lore behind the devil fruit.
Oh no, go ahead.
I'm pretty sure if you cut a head off, it just grows back. So even my view is, because it's still in this current timeline, it's 5 years before Odin died. So there's still another 5 years of, I doubt it's going to be a 5 year fight between Odin and Kaido. I highly doubt that. But I do see him cutting Orochi in half. But seeing as Orochi has
Oh
that devil
my
fruit,
god, you're gonna say he's
he
like
can
gonna be
regenerate his head.
or like be in two people.
I don't know about the two people, but I could definitely see him regenerating his head
Oh my god! Remember in Men in
at the
Black?
bare minimum.
Men in Black 2,
At
he's like
in that
yeah. Anyway.
in that realm, yes, exactly. So in that realm, so I do think he is going to cut him in half thoroughly.
Wow.
Orochi is going to regenerate, get away, and then raise forces, and then there will be a war.
Ugh. Orochi.
That's where we're at.
Well, that's awesome chapter. I think last week's was like insane, and then this one was pretty. I would say if last week was like let's say a 10, this is definitely a 9.5. This is good too.
I still give this. I'd probably give this an 8.5.
Okay.
Just because
I think I overhyped it. I think I'm with you. 8. I'll just go with an 8.5.
8.5, I think is fair. Just because
anytime
we have
they say
a lot
One
of
Piece,
information.
if they say One Piece, I think that's you should be able to give them a
Oh,
couple.
they said the title in the name in the story.
Oh man.
I have no idea where it's going. Like, there's theories abounds. Like, I personally think that Denjiro might be Fujitora, to be completely honest. And Fujitora hates the warlords because Kaido is possibly a warlord at them.
Wait,
Like,
who's
there's so
Fujitora?
much. I personally think that Denjiro could possibly be Fujitora.
Which one was Dinjiro? Oh my gosh, you're really good.
Dinjiro is boy Dinjiro out of the 9 red scabbards, and we didn't touch on this, but it was very brief. But of the
Oh,
9,
yeah.
Dinjiro was one of the first that founded following Odin with Kimon.
Oh my god.
Now Kinemon did see Fujitora back in Dressrosa, but it's been 20 years. So obviously, if he did recognize him, it's been 20 years. He looks obviously different. And the only reason I'm going off Fujitora thing is, one, it's a good idea for tying his hatred back to the war as far as Fujitora. As far as Fujitora's backstory, we know he blinded himself because he saw the horrors of the world. And in knowing Dinjiro, the biggest horror of the world, as far as his standing for Odin, is watching him getting boiled alive. So
Ugh.
on that and some other points, I feel like Fujitora might be Dinjiro.
I'm looking at again. I Google imaged it, and it's another big one I'm seeing a lot is Zoro's master when he was a kid.
I could see that, but then we get into a whole timeline and how did he make it there? Because Kuina is about to be born at some point in the next. Because Zoro's 21.
Oh yeah, he's 2 years older than Luffy.
Yeah. So in this current timeline, Zoro is going to be born in 3 years.
Oh.
Which means the girl that was his rival was born in the next 2 to 3 years. So that means Dinjiro. So that wouldn't add up.
Okay, never mind.
You're good.
Well, yeah. So this whole thing, like with we have to make our way for JOYBOY. So how many times does JOYBOY come back? Is this just the second time? Is this the returning of Christ, or is this like something that happens every 1,000 years? They do this every year.
Well, that's the thing. It's not every 1,000 years. I think every 800, which doesn't make any sense at all.
Whoa!
Because that JOYBOY was 800 years ago. I'm pretty sure.
Right. Yeah, because Yep. You're right.
So I think it's when everything adds up perfectly. So all 3 of the ancient weapons, which I'm not thinking are actually ancient weapons anymore because Poseidon is a mermaid. I'm honestly thinking that it's either Uranus or is it Pluton is the ship?
Well, it's a good question. Why
was Pluton the ship?
The thing is that we don't know because Frankie destroyed the plans to destroy Pluton.
I don't think we never got to see what the plans are.
Right.
And I think JOYBOY put out the theory. JOYBOY the theorist.
Yeah.
This is the YouTuber we're talking about. That that Zunisha is actually the ship.
Oh.
Which would make it one of the ancient weapons.
Cool. I like that.
Which now when we start thinking about the connection of Momo being able to control Zunisha.
Wow.
It's in the
so there'd have to be like a bird for the third one, right? So Uranus, Pluton.
That's what I think.
There's gonna be some big bird. Oh yeah.
Or something that can control the winds or something like that.
I mean, I want a bald eagle. We haven't seen a bald eagle yet. There's no bald eagles in One Piece. And they're not endangered anymore.
Well,
I think
we'll get it.
To go.
There's a bird fruit model bald eagle. It's the most American One Piece character. I would very much enjoy that
Frankie
if we
him.
get someone who has the bird fruit model bald eagle, and it's just the most American. It's like literally a cowboy. I would find that very, very fun.
Dang. Yeah. Well, there's some other things to talk about, but I think we should end it there and have some gas for the next one, because I still want to talk about the big hat, like what is going on with the big hat? Was Joy Boy a big boy?
Oh, that's the thing. It happened so fast. Everything with the Reverie that we're still just like, okay, what did we get? Oh yeah, things on rocks, things on this, things on that. It's just so much content, so much.
I want to talk about Blackbeard. So being what he being him, and yeah. Anyway, so
Oh yeah,
yeah, we'll let's pick it up again next week.
oh yeah. And I think moving forward, maybe a little bit of just who we are when we start off, and then jumping to the chapter, and then some theory. I think is really fun.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Awesome. Well, thankfully we don't have a break, so hopefully next Sunday we'll be able to get another one recorded.
Yeah, it'll be easy. All I have to do is just explode. I know this is kind of a boring video to watch, but I guess it's more of a podcast, so we shouldn't.
I know.
Okay.
And definitely thanks to everyone for at least checking out the inaugural voyage of the Runaway Warlords.
Runaway Warlords. I'm liking it more and more. Okay.
All right.
See ya. Bye.
Take care.